Welcome back. As I mentioned, we have Debbie Dotson here, who's going to give us a Golden Rain Foundation report. Well, hello.
Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Good. Nice to see you.
You too.
I mean, we see you regularly on TV with your other show, which is fun, and I hear we're going to talk about that next month. So
Yes.
we're looking forward to that because I think people are really learning a lot. So congratulations on that.
I hope so. Thank you.
All right. So Golden Rain Foundation had a meeting, and evidently there's a couple of policies that are going to go into place or are in place, and now you're sort of just bringing them to the forefront. So tell me a little bit about why that is happening.
Well, you know, it's really unfortunate. It's not that we haven't already had policies on anti-harassment, and we had those policies in place, but we wanted to actually pull together a policy that went overall.
Okay.
So it encompassed all the mutuals, GRF, into one cohesive policy, and that's kind of how this was born. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate that we really have to do this at this time, but just the climate in a community, we want to be able to protect our residents and our employees and everyone here. Everybody should be respected, and so we put together an actual very specific policy of respect.
Right. Okay. So it's called a mouthful. The Interboard Anti-Harassment, Anti-Abuse, and Anti-Intimidation Policy. And this is a formation of joint hearing body. Well, that's a lot to cover, right? But are you finding that it's necessary to cover all of those things? I mean, are we actually experiencing this?
That's the problem, is we are experiencing it, and we had to have a methodology to put into place where people's aggressions could come in front of a hearing body, and there could be some ramifications because, without any teeth in any policy, what's the point?
Right.
So we decided we would go ahead, and so this policy is very specific. The hearing body will be made up of members of all mutuals. Mm-hmm. It'll be fashioned after our traffic hearings. So our traffic hearings are held once a month, and if you run a stop sign or something, you go in front of the hearing board. They present VMS presents their case, and then the person has a chance to defend themselves, and then after that is over, the decision is made privately. There's not a decision made, and then the person is notified. Well, this hearing body will be just like that.
Okay.
So, but it's sad that we had to be this specific, of the directors towards VMS, and you see that it's directors, which means people on boards, and then of course residents,
right? And
then residents towards other residents, which unfortunately has also happened.
Now, is this normally in a public forum this is happening?
No, it'll be in a private session, because the hearings. The Laguna Woods traffic hearings, they were on just like a go-to-meeting type thing, and now they're both a hybrid like most meetings. But yeah, no, it won't be open to the public, no.
So let me ask you about some of the incidences, not naming anything, but in particular, but let's say, are these things happening in public, meaning people are accosting people in public, or is it happening behind doors, or what's happening? Both. Okay.
So no one should ever feel threatened by another person. No one should ever feel uncomfortable. And that was the impetus. So, for example, there have been, unfortunately, incidents at Clubhouses against VMS staff because back when masking, people didn't want to wear their masks. That's an aggression and something that would be potentially brought in front of the hearing board.
Okay.
There have been, staff, directors and staff. Obviously I can't go into any details, but, that's unfortunate because, as a director myself, I can't even imagine being aggressive with a VMS staff member. I am very respectful. They're always very respectful to me. Mm-hmm. That's another thing, is VMS staff is very respectful. Yeah. How could you not be respectful back?
Right.
But
but frustration does set in, and I know that COVID had a lot to do with it because people were isolated, and so now they're just getting out, and it's like, oh my gosh, I know I need to. But nevertheless, it never has to be disrespectful. So,
no.
So what actually happens if somebody does go before a hearing? Is it treated, like you said, like a traffic type thing? So compliance is participating as well?
Yes, compliance would participate, and there will be a, probably a leveled punishment type thing. Usually there could be a revocation of your membership in GRF for a period of time. There could be a financial ramification. So yes, there will be teeth in it, because you don't want to have your GRF, if your GRF membership is revoked, you don't get to go to any clubhouse or participate in any way.
Right.
So we want people to think twice before this, or put yourself in check. You can, of course, there's times when you're going to be frustrated or upset, but take a breath, stop, think about what will happen.
Yeah.
If you think you can just verbally abuse someone else, and hopefully there's no physical altercations.
Right.
I don't know personally of any, but I have heard of a shoving incident, but it was resident to resident.
Oh, yeah.
So, but hopefully, let's keep our hands to ourselves.
Yeah, well, and try to be kind, right? I know that
Be
Thrive
kind.
is a big proponent of being kind and kindness, and we do need to totally do that a little bit more, I think.
We sure do.
All right, so let's talk about some of the other meeting topics that happened. So you've had repositioning of bus benches.
Right. So I want to highlight this because, a lot of times people say that we're not listening and we're not doing things, and they're complaining about that. So the Vision Club brought to our attention that there were several benches when they were walking that are placed, and the way the benches have been placed, they're on our actual sidewalks. So they're to the back of the sidewalk.
Right.
But that would, if you're walking with a cane or a service animal, and you might not realize that's there, you have to step out possibly off the curb.
Oh.
So they came first to the right committee, and they talked about it, and they came and did their member comments.
Okay.
Very civilized, they were very step by step of what they needed and what was wrong, and so over a period of time, we heard all of that, and we went out and we looked at it, we determined, and we are replaced. So I want people to know, though, that we're not buying brand new. We're buying new benches, but they're in the same location. They're going to be on a cement pad back into the grass area.
Oh, okay.
So people will still be able to sit. But don't call us and say, hey, there needs to be a bench at this corner, because it's not like we're not going to a new location. We're relocating with a new bench in the same location.
Right, it's just going to be off the sidewalk in a nice little pad. Oh,
Right,
that's awesome.
right.
That's great. Oh, and more solar-powered flashing stop signs.
This is something near and dear to my heart, because, we need our citizens and residents to be safe when they're walking.
Yeah.
And sometimes people do the California stop, as they call it, where they roll right through, or they don't realize, or they're thinking about something else, and they just roll right through the stop sign. So they've identified 21 locations where they're going to put the solar powered, so they'll flash.
That's good.
And that will notify, so you can't it wakes you up. Hello, here's a stop sign.
Yeah.
And they're strobed, but they're not strobed to where they can cause they're timed so they won't hurt you. And they also will have, if necessary, they'll have the barrier on the outside so they're not like in someone's window.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Right,
good.
right.
All right.
So
perfect.
they're not going to be obtrusive to a resident. Just the person driving will see the flashing and know that they need to stop.
Okay. Oh, good. That's good. And then you have approved the website ad hoc committee. So that's a new committee.
Yes. So we identified, of course, that we needed to redo the website.
Right.
And so we had to go through the process, because every time we have a committee, we have to go through the process. So we finally got that approved at last week's meeting, and now we can really start to dig in, and I'm on that committee. Again, something near and close to me is website.
Oh, yeah.
We hope to get things up and running. We wanted to have a goal of the end of the year. I don't know if that's realistic, but we're going to work our what's off trying to get it done.
Okay.
And we will involve residents. They will come. They will we'll do like forums and in like
Yeah.
focus groups and take input because we want it to be user friendly. We know
Yeah.
that the
Yeah.
website right now is not user friendly.
Well, there's probably one too many steps to get to someplace, and that's understandable. You know, it hasn't been updated in a while, so
Right.
that's a good thing. I think that's a great idea. And then real quick, let's talk about regular maintenance plans for all clubhouses. What's happening there?
So this was a discussion that we started to have. We know we have a clubhouse renovation committee, and we're working on actual like the renovation for Clubhouse 1. We're refreshing and beautifying it. We're not like doing any huge structural undertakings. But it came to our attention that we didn't have a step-by-step like it. When you live in a mutual, they have a paint schedule, they have a maintenance schedule for the buildings. We didn't have something like that. It was more of a reactive rather than a proactive approach. So what we're going to do is we have staff coming back to us probably at next month meeting to kind of give us a report on when carpet, let's say carpet needed to be replaced on a 10-year cycle or paint on a 10 or 15-year cycles to keep our clubhouses looking nice.
Great, great. Well, that's good. I mean, that's an ongoing process for sure. Well, thank you so much. It was very nice to have you on. I appreciate it. And good luck with your technology show.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you. And if you want to comment or want more information about anything that we've discussed, you can always send an email to generalmanager@bmsinc.org, and we will forward it to the appropriate people. We'll be right back.